Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and you guys know what time it is. Time to talk about current events in the online fitness community, and I've had a number of people link me a video done over on Dave Palumbo's channel involving Dr. Tony Huge, who's not really a doctor, Kenny's Cock Out, this Ryan Russo kid, and a couple other guys who don't really know anything about. But they're running a ludicrous, ridiculous experiment that's poorly thought out, extremely expensive, and high side effect. So let me go ahead and put on my +5 hat of speechcraft, and let's talk about this. First of all, one of the reasons I don't like silly stuff like this is one of my problems with bodybuilding. Now let's kind of come over to my point. Anyone who's known me online really, really long term, and I'm talking going way back to the beginning, before I was even the controversial person that I am now. I have always campaigned for legalization of anabolics, right? It's something I believe in, and it's not because I think people should be running around abusing things. I think that used responsibly, I don't think that they're any more dangerous than cigarettes or alcohol, which are legal for adults in most of our societies. That's been my perspective. The problem we have is that when you have things that have been heavily demonized, and have a lot of laws in place and there's social stigma and everything else, when you have ass clowns who abuse those things when other people are fighting, a large number of people are fighting to get them decriminalized, it's just general quality of life improvers for people who choose to utilize these things responsibly, just like alcohol. Alcohol used responsibly carries some risk, but it can be a quality of life improver, and there are people can choose to do with their bodies what they like. Again, and if used in moderation, is reasonably safe, right? And that's the word there, reasonably safe in moderation. Alcohol and abuse is absolutely deadly, okay? Tobacco in general is absolutely deadly, but these things are still legal in our society for a number of reasons. You take stuff like anabolics, and they fall into that category that realistically, I personally believe they should be legalized. Now, in my country, they're not currently legal. I believe they should be for adults, at least the age of 21, right? Same way we do alcohol, and you walk in and can buy these things. That's what I believe. And I believe they would actually be safer if they were legalized because you wouldn't be dealing with black market substances. That's half of the side effects and risk come from the black market itself. So then when you have ass clowns who want to abuse these things, and I mean take it to the absolute most ridiculous extreme, and oftentimes, guys, it is the equivalent of someone who drinks an entire bottle of whiskey every day. Like a lot of these bodybuilders that you guys think of when I talk about them abusing, it's not the equivalent in terms of what the stuff they use. It's not the equivalent to taking a one shot of Jack Daniels every night. It's not the equivalent of a glass of wine every night. It's the equivalent of an entire fifth of liquor before bed every night. Or two of them, like maybe in the morning and then another one at night before bed, and then they pass out drunk and vomiting 7 days a week. That's the equivalent, right? And so when you have people who just blatantly abuse these things, it makes it a lot harder for those of us who are saying, look, guys, the risk of this stuff is overblown. And people need to also understand, with all this abuse that goes on, this is not inexpensive. You have to have a lot of disposable income. That's the reason most bodybuilders do prostitution and sell drugs and stuff like that, because it's extremely expensive. And I mean, for example, if you do the math on just this stuff that they're doing in their little experiment, what they've admitted to, they won't even admit to everything they're doing. But if you look at just the growth hormone they're using, which is a ludicrous amount, it's over $100 a day for each one of them. Now, you got a 7-day experiment where they're trying to maximize muscle growth. So what do? They use the single most expensive thing they can find that's extremely slow acting in any benefits. Right? Anyone who utilizes HGH as part of their stack, what do they know? It takes months and months to really get much in the way of benefits. Right? It does seem to. Takes a very long time, 7 days. So they're taking the most expensive stuff they can find. You're talking about at least $1,000 for each one of those guys. There's what, like 6 guys there? So he's basically spending $6,000 on growth hormone for this week. $6,000 basically. And even Dave is just kind of looking at them like 25 units of growth hormone. They're taking 25 units a day, each one of them. I mean, the sheer stupidity of that. Whereas in the difference, I know guys personally who just along with their TRT or slightly above TRT that they get prescribed by their doctor, they're throwing like 2 units a day. and they just stay on it year round. And they actually look better than these guys I know who do that. I mean, just saying that aside, that's actually reality. If you guys want to think of, you would ask me, what does someone like Michael Hearn probably do? Yeah, that's probably what Mike does. A little bit of test, a little bit of growth year round for years and years on end at a moderate amount, small amount like that. Right? That's what produces results like that over time. But even that's expensive. But you have these clowns doing these 25 units of this, and they're doing insulin, and then it's injectable SARMs and a bunch of orals. And it's just a goofy-ass, silly publicity stunt. You could tell that Dave, even in this interview, because Dave has done the whole bodybuilding gig, he's done the enormous amounts of anabolics and written cycles for other people and all these bodybuilders. He's done it for decades. And even he's just looking at it like, yeah. Even he's just kind of like, why aren't you guys just using fast-acting tren for this, right? Well, if they're going to do a 7-day gain as much muscle as they can, like it's not even a 7-day as much muscle as they can, it's a 7-day. Let's put as much water and bloat on as we can, because that is what it is. It is just bloat. Because you're not going to gain significant muscle in 7 days, right? And we need to make that clear. No matter what you put into your body, you are not going to gain like 5 pounds of muscle in 7 days, even if you spent $10,000 on putting stuff in your body. That's not going to happen. There are limits to what can occur at your body at the cellular level. So basically these guys are just doing a massive bloat. And then they're talking about, oh yeah, we're trying to control our bloat day to day. No, they're not. Every one of these guys is all puffy and bloated. I mean, look at Kenny. Kenny gained 20 pounds in 6 days. It's all water. It's all water. I mean, it really is. It's just water. Because they're admitting they're taking oral D-Bol, oral Winstrol. They're doing insulin, which is going to make you puffy. 25 units of growth hormone. Okay, that's enormous amounts of water retention. And even Dave kind of made the comment of, wow, I mean, yeah, I'm sure you guys are close to heart failure. That's why you're having trouble breathing. Yeah, because of all the water retention. And Dave's right. Dave actually does have a medical background. If I understand it, Dave did actually go to medical school, and even he's kind of joking about that. But that's the reality of it. And this is the sort of stupid, silly shit that Tony Hughes gets up to. This is why I don't like him. Just like when he was promoting DNP, he's promoting insulin, all this other stuff is dangerous, particularly DNP. DNP is probably the single most dangerous substance bodybuilders use out there. And he's promoting it, saying, oh, it's perfectly safe, blah, blah, blah. You know, he's always trying to pimp this ludicrous, silly crap for marketing. And it basically tells you a lot about the guy. I mean, you look at what the guy does as a person. He's been busted already for a bunch of illegal stuff. I don't even remember all the details at this point. It's all circulated. He's had problems. He's had different legal problems. He's always pimping some insane protocol. And he doesn't care. He doesn't care about people. And this is a guy who goes to Thailand to, bang lady boys and stuff. He's a sociopath. And the same thing, he has this Ryan Russo kid on here. Remember he had Ryan Russo as a teenager using stuff? Oh, yeah, I'm helping him with this and that. He's come down and I'm helping him out and giving him a bunch of drugs and stuff. And he's a teenager, right? He has no business using any sort of hormone at all, not prescribed by a doctor. When you're a teenager, putting any hormone into your body that's not been prescribed by a doctor is stupid, and encouraging him to do so is reckless and sociopathic. And Tony did it just to do it. Why not, right? Yeah, complete sociopath. And, then you got Kenny's cock out on there, which again shows what an ignoramus he is in general. He's going to come and do this silly sort of protocol. Why? What's the point? What are these guys going to gain out of it? And even Dave, if you guys caught with Dave, I kind of agree with what Dave hinted at. Really? You guys aren't just using IGF-1? You guys aren't using tren? Yeah. I mean, in all honesty, if a person, and I'm not endorsing this, I'm not writing a protocol, but let's be realistic here. If a person was going to gain as much muscle as they possibly could in a tiny time frame, like they just were in a limited number of days and they were going to do it with substances, that's what you would do. You would basically hit your threshold of what you could stand and tolerate of basically those two things. Because that would put solid muscle on a person. It's not going to be about water retention. It's not going to be puffiness. You're just going directly to the androgen receptor into IGF-1, right? That's pretty much all you need, right? You just maximize those, saturate those, and let it unfold. That's technically what would actually do well for the experiment they're trying to do. And they're talking about, oh yeah, we're trying to just, limit side effects. But they're talking about having to do insulin and all this IGF-1 than having to take metformin to deal with the blood sugar. and they're all puffy and bloated. They're having extreme amounts of stupid side effects. And the ridiculous part is all they're doing is hurting themselves, spending enormous amounts of money for a publicity stunt. And what are they going to do? They're all going to gain a pound of muscle, right? What are they going to get out of a pound of muscle? Maybe a pound and a half. Thousands of dollars spent, all these side effects. One of them might end up having a heart attack from all the bloating and the anemia. Sheer stupidity. Sheer stupidity. What a bunch of ass clowns. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.